Blog Talk Radio.
And welcome, everybody. You're listening to the Psychic Talk Radio Network. I'm Dax Carlisle, executive producer of Psychic Talk and president of the Tarot Guild the last 15 years. Oh, God. We're going to be talking about that today. The Tarot Guild 15 years later, and wow, I can't believe that much time has gone by. We're also coming up on the 10th anniversary of our first ever radio show. Yep, 10 years on the air, folks. And our first Tarot Guild website, that's coming up January 20th, and we're celebrating with an on-air party this Sunday. It's going to be big. Oh, my gosh. We'll talk about that a little later on as well. Give us a call. We're a live call-in show, 714-816-4628. When you get through, remember to press 1 on your dial pad. Otherwise, we assume you're just listening to the show. And that's perfectly fine. You could be listening on the web on a player, or dial into the show and listen. Just don't press 1. But if you want to be live on air with Rose and I, press the number 1 on your dial pad. If you're Skyping in, open the dial pad on your Skype app and press 1. All righty, 714-816-4628. Let me bring on the fabulous Dr. Rose Wilkerson. So, Rose has nearly 20 years of teaching experience in various colleges and universities. She has a PhD in linguistics and quite the eclectic spiritual background in many spiritual traditions, everything from chanting Sanskrit mantras to performing ceremonial magical rituals, New Orleans voodoo, ancient Egyptian spirituality, shamanic practices. Oh, my gosh. And, of course, she always gives us the mantra of the week, although today I hear she's got the mantra for the year. That's right, because we're in the beginning of 2020 here. Really exciting stuff. And she is a spiritual life coach. Here she is, Dr. Rose Wilkerson. Hey, Rose.
Well, hello. Happy New Year to everyone. I know we're about 2 weeks into the new year, but I'm going to say Happy New Year because I haven't been on in a while. How you doing, Dad?
It's our first show. Oh, great. It's our first show back together, and I know you've been going through a lot the last couple of weeks, and your mom was a little under the weather, so to speak, but she's doing better.
Oh, Dax, Dax, can you hear me?
Oh, something happened. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry, I don't know if it was my line or what.
Yeah, no, I was just saying how, it's our first show back on air together, and you had a rough last couple of weeks with your mom being under the weather. How's Mom now?
She is doing great. She had to be hospitalized for about a full week, and she's now at a rehab facility, so they're helping her out and whatnot. But she had a serious condition, but she's much better. It frightened all of us meaning my other siblings and myself.
Yeah.
And we watched her around the clock. That was the other thing. That the reason why I couldn't do the show is that we were with her every single hour at the hospital. So we would trade off in terms of times, even through the night and all that kind of stuff. You'd have to be really watchful of people when they go into the, into the hospital, and because you get different nurses and things of that nature. But all in all, she's much better. So I'm happy for that.
Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, I went through the same thing last year with my mom, and my dad and I were switching off. Somebody was there 24/7. The nurses loved us because we spent the night and everything like that. And she was in the hospital for quite a while and then got out and then had a complication, had to go back in for a few days. Oh, my God. It was just horrendous, especially on the schedule.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad you're able to come back now, and we're getting the year rolling here. And And like I said in my intro, October 31st, we just had the 15th anniversary of the Tarot Guild. I can't believe it's been 15 years.
Wow.
It was 2004, I know. And now we're firmly into our 16th year. Also, we took the Tarot Guild and went, international online. We built the first website in 2009. And in 2010, it was January 20th, 2010, which is coming up here in a few days, my mom's birthday. And we launched our first ever radio show and the first Tarot Guild website. We're launching a brand new tarot social networking platform, thetarotguild.com, also officially launching that this Sunday. We're doing a big show about that, So I thought I'd talk a little bit about the history of, the Tarot Guild. Here we are 15 years later. We started out as a meetup on meetup.com, just local in San Diego. Did you know about that story?
No, I don't.
So I moved to San Diego in 2004, and I went on meetup.com and I just typed in tarot. I wanted to see if there was any meetup groups about tarot, and I found one. There was like 53 members, but there was no organizer, and they weren't having meetings. And when I joined, I guess their algorithm notices when somebody new joins and, no events have been posted for a long time. So I got an automatic email say, hey, you want to be the organizer of the group? And I was like, oh, I've never organized anything like that, but hey, I'll give it a whirl, So I took over as organizer and scheduled our first meeting. 2 people showed up to the first meeting, then 10, then 15, then 30.
Wow.
Pretty quickly, we were up to 450 members with anywhere from 20 to 30 to 40 people showing up. We started out meeting once a month and then ended up meeting weekly. And at one point, we were actually meeting twice a week. We had our open kind of like Sunday meeting where it was just, coffee and tarot or tea and tarot and just talking about stuff. And then it was Tuesdays or Wednesdays we had our training night where we would all get together at this nice bistro and do whole classes, with like 25 people there teaching tarot. But not just tarot, also teaching the business side of things. And that's where the Tarot Guild came in. So we were the San Diego Tarot Meetup, and we changed the name to the Tarot Guild. And as I said, we got up to 450 active members, and we started doing things like getting our local professional readers gigs in the area. We sent several people to multi-million-dollar events, on the harbor there in San Diego, and they got paid $150 an hour to, entertain and do readings there at these, big events. And we, we rolled around to, 4 or 5 years later, 2008, 2009, we started thinking, hey, this is when Facebook was finally starting to get big, Twitter was starting, the web was getting big. The web had been around since, 94, 95, but, it was the old ancient websites, and we were finally getting platforms like Ning that allowed normal people like me that don't do coding, to build social networking websites. And so we decided, hey, let's build a website and go international. So we built the website, and in 2009, we had about 500 people on the website before we officially launched, which was January 20th, 2010. And now that anniversary is coming up. And so that's what we did. We went international doing what we did for the local group, for everybody, talking about, the business side of things as well as, training in tarot and numerology. And a few years after we launched the first website and the first radio show, Tarot Today Radio, We launched our first radio network with multiple shows. We've actually gone through 5 networks. This is our 5th network, Psychic Talk Radio, 10 years later. And we actually went off of the Ning network. The Ning platform allows you to build community, Facebook-like websites where you can do social networking and everything. And there was problems with it back then. And so at Facebook, everybody was going on Facebook. Facebook was getting big. We said, hey, let's just build a static WordPress website, kind of like a billboard out on the web. And for our networking, we'll just build a group, a Tarot Guild group on Facebook, which we did. And we now have like 5,500 members, 5,500, I think it is now, on the Tarot Guild group. But in recent years, and especially this past year, that static website, which had been around for, we had the server for like 10 years, and it was old. The website crashed. Our Angel Practitioner website also crashed, and we decided we'd build a new website. And our members were telling us they missed Ning. They missed having a social networking website. So, I started looking into all the possibilities. There's it's 10 years later. There's a lot of different ways to do it. And I looked into all the possibilities. A lot of them were very complicated. A lot of them were very expensive. I took a look at Ning again, and I found out that they had come a long, long way. They have new owners, and it was just fantastic and fits in our budget and everything like that. So we decided, hey, we're going to be really nostalgic and build another Ning website. So we did that. It's live. You can go over there now and join for free. It's free to join. TheTarotGuild.com. TheTarotGuild.com. And you can join for free, and we have forums and groups. You can friend other members. You can private message. There's live chat. There's forums. There's groups. There's God, I can't think of all the things. There's so many of these features on there. It's just like Facebook, but all tarot all the time. And we haven't officially launched yet. We're going to launch on our anniversary, the 20th. We're going to officially launch actually this Sunday, the 19th, when we do the on-air party for the 10th anniversary of being on radio. And but we already have like 100 people on there. So go over and join us if you are into tarot and numerology, thetarotguild.com, and we're putting all the radio shows on there and the videos and events for everything that's happening. And the forum has a lot of posts already, and you can go in there and you can discuss your favorite books and decks and spreads and all kinds of tarot-related things. So here we are 15 years later, basically.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yep. I'm excited for 2020. I think things are really good. Once we get the website going there and start snowballing, and I think it's going to be a fantastic year. And by the way, if for everybody, but especially those of you that have been around for the last 10 years listening to our radio shows, maybe you even remember the very first Tarot Today radio. On Sunday, when we do this live on-air party, there's going to be a couple of surprises. And it's going to get very nostalgic on Sunday. So if you could possibly tune in, Mary and I are hosting, but we're inviting all of our current radio hosts, our past radio hosts, past guests, anybody that wants to join us, pop in there, say hi. We'll also be doing some mini readings live on air as well. And so that's this Sunday, January 19th. 10 years of radio, 10 years of the Tarot Guild being online, and we've been around for 16 years. Yeah, we're in our 16th year. Awesome sauce. Awesome sauce.
Definitely.
So I see we're getting some. Yeah, I'm really excited for 2020. And, we just did a show last Saturday, Mary and I. It's our first show back for the new year, and we talked about the world year of 4. And it's that double 2 energy, 22, the master builder number. It's 4, it's structure. It's a great year to start making plans and just get ready for the new year now. And in fact, the numerology today really lines up with that, Rose, because it's January 17th, 2020. If you add those numbers up, you get 13. 1 plus 3 is 4, like the world year number.
Oh, wow.
Structure.
Yeah.
And plans and so forth. Yeah. And then the day is the 17th. So 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 is double structure. It's double 4, And 8 is also the number of abundance in numerology. And the card of the day is the Knight of Wands. Wands is that fire energy. It's following your passions. And it's literally, with the Knight, it's like literally getting on the horse and going for it, and chasing after your passions. And that's what you want to do right now. Today is great day. Maybe you've been working all week and it's Friday and now, you're winding down. Here comes the weekend. Start working on this now today and into the weekend. Plan out your year. Plan out how you can really follow your passions big this year. So there's the numerology and the card of the day. So I see we're getting a bunch of callers on there now. If you're on the fence, give us a ring at 714-816-4628. You can ask Rose and I about anything you want. Psychic development. You can ask us about tarot and numerology. You can ask us about mantras and Vedic meditation, hypnosis, EFT, NLP. We pretty much, between the two of us, life coaching, we have it pretty much covered, Rose. So any question you've got, any burning question, or you can call in for a mini reading at 714-816-4628. Remember, when you get through, press 1 on your dial pad. That's how we know you want to be live on air. It raises your hand on our switchboard. Okay. So, Rose, I did the numerology of the day. Do you want to do the mantra of the week?
Yes.
Or the mantra of the year?
This is
actually,
it's the mantra of the week and the year, or just the year. I don't know. Choose whichever one you want, guys. So one of the things that I wanted to just mention, I've mentioned this mantra before, and on this show back in 2019, a year ago. It's funny to say that. And I can't stress this mantra enough. So let me give you a little bit of a background about this. So this mantra is connected to, to the elephant-headed god Ganesha, that is known in India, places like India and other areas in Asia. And the wonderful thing about Ganesha and who he is in the world is removing obstacles. He's most known for removing obstacles. So what are obstacles? Obstacles are anything that slows you down or stops you or preventing you from progressing forward. For example, being more successful at your job, or finding a job, or being successful in relationships, or maybe you're just waking up, feeling lethargic or slow, or maybe you're feeling as if things are really not progressing in your life. 2019 could have been a rough year for some people out there, and they're just like, man, I just need a break. I just really need somebody just to remove this obstacle so I can move forward. Well, that's what Ganesha does, and it's any obstacle, any negativity that is holding you back or blocking you is his specialty. This is why he has an elephant head. Think about elephants. They're huge, right? Especially the adults. And they, I saw a video some months ago, which was really interesting. And I can't remember the two countries involved, but this was a country where they had a border. There's a political border between these two countries. And this road just had like a basic gate and a couple of guards posted, so they have to check people's ID if they're going through or whatnot. Well, this elephant went from one side of the border to the other, right? He just walked right on through. No one stopped it. They're not going to stop the elephants or things of that nature, right? They're big, they're huge, and if you try to stop them, it can be really difficult. The elephant went right into the other country, did whatever he had to do, came back out, and they just let him do it. They're huge. They, will jump over gates, not jump over, but they'll climb over gates and things of that nature. Elephants remove obstacles. If you see an elephant coming down the street and you're walking, you're going to get out the way unless you want to be trampled or harmed in some way. So, and the other thing about Ganesha is that he is said to be the closest to humanity and human beings. There are some archetypes out there, gods and goddesses, that are so far up. So I won't say up, but at a high vibration, that you have to really raise yourself to that vibrational level, which can take a long period of time in order to have access to them or access to their energy. Ganesha is not like that. It doesn't matter where your vibration is. It doesn't matter if you're a positive thinker or a negative thinker or a combination of both. Anyone can access Ganesha. That is part of his role. In fact, in a lot of the ceremonies that they do, they have ceremonies in India called homas, which are fire ceremonies, right? Basically, they have this square pit, and they, chant mantras and recite scriptures and things of that nature, and they pour different kinds of offerings into the fire. But before they do anything, they always go to Ganesha first, because Ganesha is the one who opens up the roads in a sense. He removes all the blockages, removes all the negativity. He's important to approach first, in these kinds of ceremonies. So my recommendation is to chant Ganesha's mantra. So I'm going to give you two of them. One is a short one, one is a long one. Gum. Now, I talk about gum a lot, and of course I'm not talking about chewing gum, even though it's pronounced that way, but gum is one of his mantras. It's what they call a bija, seed mantra, just one sound or one syllable basically. And you can chant that mantra whenever you're faced with any kind of obstacle. Then there's Om Gum Ganapataye Namaha. So, a lot of mantras and Sanskrit mantras begin with Om. I'm not going to get into the whole meaning of that. I can talk about that later. But Om Gum Ganapataye Namaha, that's another one that people are very familiar with in terms of Ganesha, and you can chant that one as well. Here's my recommendation. I'm going to do something for you guys, and I'll be posting this video later today on my YouTube channel. So if you want to take a look at what I'm doing, you want to go to my YouTube channel. You can go to my bio page at psychictalk.net /Dr. Rose. Now it would be DRROSE. There are two R's in there. That's DRROSE. And if you look down, it'll say visit Dr. Rose's YouTube channel, and then you can click on the link to get there. And so I'm going to post a video today of something that that's called the Showing the Light. This is a way to really invoke Ganesha's blessings and grace and obstacle removing abilities to you. I've actually been doing this again for the past couple of days. I did it before the show, and I really feel a lot lighter because I was like, I just feel so heavy, like things are just holding me back, and I really need your help in doing this. And so I'm going to do a video on that. It's a very simple procedure. It just involves a candle, a picture of Ganesha, and something to, light the candle with, basically. So I'm going to do that video. It'll be posted a little bit later today, probably in the evening time, where I'm in the Pacific Coast right now. It's about 11:24 in the a.m., so just give me a few hours. But it will be posted. If you go to my YouTube channel, and I haven't posted the video yet, subscribe to the channel because you'll get a notification. You also want to be notified of when I have a video. I post videos every week, so you want to make sure you get on that. But Showing the Light is a wonderful way to invoke Ganesha, and it's very simple. It's a simple practice, and it only takes a few minutes. My recommendation, whether you're chanting his mantra or you're going to do the Showing the Light, which is what I'll show on my video channel later on, is that you do this at the beginning of your day, whenever your day begins. Some people have days that begin early in the morning, later in the day, whatever. But before you begin your day, even if you're lying in bed, chant Ganesha's mantra and ask for all the obstacles within yourself and outside of yourself to be removed. Okay? And I just had an experience of doing this, and I feel so much lighter and just so much more positive. So I highly recommend this for people. So gum, or you can do showing the light, which is the video I'll post on my YouTube channel a little bit later today. So that's my recommendation. And yes, this is a mantra to do for the rest of the year. It doesn't have to be your only mantra, but a lot of times when people chant mantras, they will chant Ganesha's mantra first. Whether you do it 3 times, you can chant his mantra 9 times, you can do 27, or you can do the full 108. If you want to do that kind of programming, you're welcome to do that. You don't have to do just 108, but do what feels good for you and what works with your schedule. So I always recommend that you start with the Ganesha mantra at the beginning of your day. If you want to try another mantra after that, like Shreem Brazi or any of the other mantras I've given, then please do. And that's it for me.
Well, that's the that was awesome. I like the short one, of course, and we figured that out a long time ago when you started doing the mantras on the show that, in the modern life, we can break that. You can still do the 108 and break it up into, what did we say, 27 chants 4 times a day, like that?
Right. Yeah.
That's one way
you
to
can
do
that
it,
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, or build up to it. You don't have to overwhelm yourself.
Right. And then, the 108 is a standard practice, right? It's a traditional practice. And as I've said before, if you want to do a traditional practice, chant the mantra 108 times per day. That's at least you want to chant it 108 times. And then do like a 40-day or 45-day type of thing where you're doing it every day for 40 to 45 days. Now, you don't have to do it that way. And like I said, when I do the showing the light, I'll talk about that. This is a very simple and powerful practice where I chant the mantra maybe somewhere between 3 to 9 times, and there's a little bit of a thing that I do with the light, and I'm telling you that makes a world of difference. So, stay tuned for that on my YouTube channel later today.
That's awesome. I love that you're doing that now, too, with the videos. Great, great stuff. By the way, 108, the traditional, is in numerology, that's a 9 completion. It makes perfect sense that it's 108.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So I'd throw that out there. Yeah. And, I did want to mention we are doing a show the first Friday in February. I have to look that up. I think it's the 7th. But we're doing a whole show on personal year numbers. So we'll talk all about what that is. We just did the world year number last Saturday, and we're going to talk about that in relation to the personal year cycle of 9 that we all go through, and how to figure out where you are in the cycle. Because if you know where you are in the cycle and you know what the world year is, it gives you a lot of information to go forward with the year and set your intention. So that's coming up as well. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Lots of great stuff coming up, and we will take a look at upcoming shows in just a few minutes. We're coming up on the bottom of the hour. Let's try to squeeze in a call or two before the bottom of the hour. And I did want to mention that we're going to calls, the whole second half of the show. So if you want to get on the air, ask a question, if you want to get a mini reading live on air, give us a call at 714-816-4628. This is the time to get in and get into the queue so we have time to get to you. Hold your spot there because we take the calls in the order that they come in. Give us a ring at 714-816-4628 and press 1 on your dial pad. So who's on the switchboard, Dr. Rose?
Yeah, so we have a caller who's been on holding the longest. The area code is 828, caller 828. Say hi, give us your name, let us know where you're calling from.
Hi, I'm Danielle, and I'm calling from Roanoke, Virginia.
Ah, all right. Welcome to the show, Danielle from Roanoke.
Hi,
what can
Danielle.
we do for you today?
Well, I was needing help with my relationship. I don't feel that he's making good choices, and we live together, and I've been wanting to leave him, but I have a disability and I can't work to afford a place on my own. And I might have to have spinal surgery soon. And do you see any positive changes coming for us?
Okay, let's see what's going on here for you, Danielle. Of course, we only have a couple minutes on air with each person.
Right, I understand.
So we, this is something that we really have to go deep into, but we can get, at least some things for you right here. Right off the bat, the very first card I get is the Tower card, So it's reflecting what's going on, a lot of, sudden changes, abrupt changes, endings, crises, it's talking about potentially the need for, clearing out your life, shifting your foundations, letting go of beliefs that aren't serving you anymore. And right next to it is the Devil card. Rose, are you freaking out? We got the Tower card followed by the Devil card, right?
Oh my goodness. That's humongous change.
Yes. These are the only two major Arcana cards showing up, and they're in the beginning of the spread, And the Devil card is attachments to things. And it can slip into the negative with addictions, behaviors, obsessions, illusions. People get trapped by an illusion that, for instance, in your case, that there's no way out. That they're so attached to the way things are, they can't imagine it being anywhere else. And that's why these cards are showing up in the beginning. It's reflecting the situation. It's talking about what's going on and saying that is an aspect to work on now that'll make the future better. Okay? And I asked this kind of as a yes-no question with the 5 cards. And each card can represent a yes or a no. People that have been listening to the show for a long time know that I use this spread all the time. It's for quick answers in these situations, especially doing radio readings, right? And very rarely do you come up with 5 yeses. Usually it's like 3 or 4. 4 is still a pretty strong yes. If you get 3 yeses, it's more probable, it's leaning that way, but it could go either way. There's something left to be done. And the same is true for the opposite if you get 5 no's or 4 no's or 3 no's. On this, I got 5 yeses. And what I was asking was, would it be better for you to move out of the situation? And
right.
I got 5 yeses. Is that, that is the real answer for 2020. It might not happen this month, next month. It may take a while, but it's talking about that, okay? And there are cards that are referring to interpersonal relationships and help from other people. And the very last card is an 8 card. 8 is abundance in numerology. Remember, I said today's an 8 day, and I feel there's no coincidence here that you're calling in. I think it's a very powerful synchronicity. And it's the 8 of Cups, which is a card of letting go and moving away and onward and upward. So the cards are really giving you your answer right there, that you can do this. You can extricate yourself from the situation, and you're going to be so much more healthy all around, mentally and spiritually and emotionally, by making this move. What you have to do is think outside of the box and get creative and get help from other people, because that's strongly indicated. Talking to other people, getting wise counsel. There's people that can help you. You just have to seek the help and figure out how to do it. It might, the path might not be clear to you right now, but this is giving you the impetus to do it and giving you a little direction on where to go. So I hope that helped you out, in the time we had here. Rose, do you have anything for Danielle?
Well, my recommendation, Danielle, if you're into mantras, is to chant the gum mantra, because what you're thinking is that you're stuck in this situation and you're completely dependent on this person, and it doesn't have to be that way. So I would just, chant the mantra, and, there's so much more that can happen for you. You're not stuck. You think you're stuck, but you really aren't. So I highly recommend the gum mantra to help, clear your mind and clarify things. And then sometimes you'll find that things will work out for you in your stead without you having to do much of anything. I'm not saying don't pursue a way to get out and things of that nature. I want you should definitely take action, because that also shows that, hey, you're showing the universe, I really want this life change to happen. But you can find that it will help resolve some things for you, okay? And then you can get into a better situation. You are not stuck, my friend. You can get out of the situation that you are in and get some real help, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I appreciated everything. Thank you.
Oh, you're
Thanks
very welcome.
for the call, Danielle.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Rose, they often say that it's darkest before the dawn. And for Danielle, but for everybody else listening, what you said, Rose, about taking action, even if it's small action, that's the real clue here for everybody,
right,
and what they want to do in 2020. Or maybe you've made some resolutions for the new year, and making a resolution, and we're going to be talking about that on next Friday. We're going to talk about SMART goals versus resolutions for 2020. And when you resolve to do something, the thing is with these New Year's resolutions, they've become to a matter of fact. To actually resolve to do something, there is no choice. There is no wavering. It's happening. And we've gotten away from that, where you're not setting a goal. It's more of a wish or a fantasy.
right,
Kind of like when I was talking about the devil card. Yeah. And that's the thing. People will make the resolutions, but then they'll sit there and not take any action. And even if you, like in Danielle's case, even if she starts taking, does the SMART goal. Listen to next week's show, everybody, including Danielle, at how to set the SMART goal and take action, even if it's small baby steps in that direction. There's things you can do, even if it's research, even if it's talking to some people. What you're doing is you're putting it out there energetically, right, Rose? It's the law of attraction.
Exactly.
You're putting it out there. You're telling the universe, I want more of this. I want to go in this direction. And as you flow in that direction, what happens is the universe starts putting people, places, and things in your path that can help you along this way. And if you don't believe in the law of attraction, or you're not that spiritual, it's okay. There's a thing called the reticular activating system in the center of our brain, where the mammalian and reptilian brains meet. And this whole system of structures, it filters what we see. Our subconscious is taking in everything we see, hear, feel, touch, smell, all the five senses, every, teraflops of data. But, our conscious mind can only process plus or minus 7. 5 to 7 bits of information versus the hundreds of millions of bits coming in. So when you start, you've heard, what you focus on comes to you. That's the law of attraction. And a lot of us look at it in a metaphysical way, but it also has scientific basis, because once you start putting your attention on something, your subconscious becomes aware of this, and the reticular activating structures, this system starts scanning all the information coming in that you're unaware of consciously, but it'll make those things conscious to you. You'll be sitting in a restaurant, and all these people sitting in tables all around you, chattering, but you'll hear the one person talking to that one person over there about the very thing that you were just putting your attention on.
Right.
It's just amazing how it works. So whether you go the metaphysical approach or the scientific approach, the bottom line is that it works. And taking action, even if it's baby steps, I always tell everybody, take massive action. That's Tony Robbins. Gotta take massive action. But even if it's baby steps at first, doing some research, like, okay, your goal for 2020 is you want to open a coffee house. Okay, so you start buying books on coffee, learning all about coffee preparation. You buy books on starting your own coffee house. You go to coffee houses and talk to the owners and what's their experience, and what do you need to know. You contact the health department and get their packet sent to you. And the reason why I'm saying is I've done all this. I've owned coffee houses up and down the West Coast over the years, and I had to do all that. You contact the health department. They send you their packet, what you have to have. Whether you're doing a coffee cart or doing a whole cafe or a coffee house. And you're taking action in the real world. You're moving forward. You're not doing like you look in the movie The Secret, where you set your intention and you're sitting in the easy chair waiting for the Maserati to show up in your driveway. It's not gonna work, because there are 4 steps to the law of attraction, and even if you do 3 of them, if you miss any of the 4 steps, and the one that most people miss is taking action, that's the last step. Anybody that if you miss even one, it's not going to work. And so people do this and they go, oh, see, this doesn't work. I've been focusing on this, but you actually didn't take all of the steps, especially the last one. So for Danielle, but also for everybody listening out there, there's some great advice on how to get going here in 2020 with your goals. We'll talk more about it on next week's show, right? Smart goals versus resolutions for 2020. Yeah.
There we go.
So I know we're past the bottom of the hour, but you want to take another call before we do the upcoming shows?
Sure. Okay, caller with the area code 239. You've been holding the longest. 239. Give us your name and let us know where you're calling from.
Yes, hi. Thank you for taking my call. My name's Lana. I'm calling from Florida, and there's 2 gentlemen in my life that I'm interested in. I like one more than the other, and my question is, the one that I like more, do you see a future there, long term, commitment, good relationship?
Okay, let's see. So what I'm going to do is, instead of doing my normal spread, I'm going to pull a few cards for each possibility and see what comes up. We're just going to take a look at this and see. Okay, so the person you don't like quite as much, the moon card comes up with this person. And the 4 of Swords, delay. The moon card, when you're looking at something at night with the light from the moon, it's diffused, it casts shadows, it's more difficult to see, okay? And I think there's some hidden aspects with this person. And the reason why you are not quite as attracted to this person as the other is because of this. You are unconsciously picking up on that there's something, all right? And, of course, we don't have time to go deep into it, but I just want to leave it there for now because I'm much more interested in the person that you're interested in because the cards coming up for that person is really, really good. The first one I want to mention is the Judgment card, which is a major arcana card. So this is major life changes, and I call it the cosmic wake-up call. It's almost like the universe, reaching out with a wet mackerel and slapping you across the face and saying, Lana, wake up. Hello. Duh. Now, the main focus card is the Six of Swords. Now, there's a lot of swords in there. Swords are thoughts and ideas in tarot. And, okay, you're overthinking it a little bit. That's one aspect of it. But the other thing is that what's going on physically in the card is two individuals are taking a trip across water, and there's an oarsman that is, think of the gondolas in Venice kind of thing, that kind of a situation where he's got the big pole pushing the boat across. Now there are rough seas to the one side and calm seas to the other, and moving into the calm seas, and often the distance is the goal. So this is not a speedboat, okay? But the point here is that you are making slow, steady progress towards your goal. And then the other card that shows up for him is the Hierophant. The Hierophant is about rituals and tradition and following social norms, authority, the quest for knowledge, wisdom. This card also, because it's a Pope figure in the card. Originally, that's what this card was called, was the Pope. And it often comes up referring to matrimony. The whole, it's the whole ritual of the whole marriage ceremony and the officiant, being represented by, this is obviously a clergy person in this picture, and I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying that, hey, it's showing up. It's showing up.
Yeah.
So there you go.
He's traditional. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yep. Thanks for the call.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Excuse me. My voice is, I don't know what's going on with my throat. Okay. All right. So, Dax, what would you like to do now? Would you like to talk about the upcoming shows before we go into the next caller, or would you like to take another caller?
Let's do the upcoming shows, get them out of the way, and then we will do more calls. The rest of the show, what we have left here, and I think we have enough time to get through all the callers, which is really nice. And
nice.
But if we don't get your call today, though, remember, call in on Sunday, which, by the way, is the very next show. Normally we have a show on Saturday, Mary and I. We're not doing a show tomorrow because Mary and I have moved the show to Sunday to do the special on-air party celebrating 10 years on the air. That's this Sunday, nice. January 9th. Yeah, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. London, UK. And we'll be celebrating 10 years of the Tarot Guild being online with our very first website and our first radio show, Tarot Today Radio, 10 years ago on Monday. But we have a lot of shows on Monday, so we couldn't do the show on Monday. We decided, hey, let's move our Saturday show to Sunday. This is going to be fun. It's also very laid back. It's Sunday. I'm hoping a lot of people will be able to join us and help us celebrate. But we will be taking calls, too, on that show. So if we don't get your call today, you can call in on Sunday. Then on Monday, it's a double feature with Wisdom of the Soul with Janice Fuchs, licensed clinical social worker. She's a therapist in New York City. And that's followed by the Compassionate Light Healing and Guidance Show with Catherine Hahn. and her topic is living a purpose-filled life. Perfect for the beginning of the year here, Dr. Rose.
The year. That's right.
Yeah, that's right. And then we'll be back, as I mentioned before, on Friday, January 24th with SMART goals versus resolutions for 2020. We also will be taking your calls, open lines, and tarot mini readings all show long. But we'll be talking about resolutions. Do they work? Why don't they work if they don't work? And what to do instead. So,
right.
just in time for the beginning of the year here. And then Mary and I will be back on Saturday, January 25th with New Year's readings for 2020. We did a whole show on a fabulous New Year's spread that I was guided by the universe to come up with a few weeks back. And so you can find that on the website and listen in. And it has, I'm trying to remember here, it has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think it has 10 cards in it. And what I'm going to do for this New Year's readings show, of course, we'll take whatever question you have that you want us to do a mini reading on, but we'll also pull 3 cards for each caller, and it'll be part of that spread is this one layer of cards that's 3 cards that is something to look forward to, something to focus on, and something to watch out for in 2020. So that's what we'll be doing on Saturday, January 25th. And then Sunday, January 26th, Sharona Rapseek is back on with her show, Magic Universe. She's going to be talking about how to receive downloads from universal consciousness, plus open lines and mini readings as well. It's going to be fantastic. If you want to see the whole lineup of shows, actually I've got them listed out here, Rose, all the way till Valentine's Day, Friday, February 14th, when you and I are going to be doing love mantras and Valentine's readings and everything. Valentine's Day coming up. I've got all the shows listed out all the way to halfway through February. So go over to psychictalk.net/upcoming to plan your listening adventures and your calling in adventures. Mark your calendars for the shows you want to listen to and call in on and so forth. So that's it for upcoming shows.
Perfect. Okay. So let us move on to the next caller. We have a caller who's calling in from area code 914. Caller from 914, let us know your name and where you're calling from, please.
Hi, yes, thank you. My name is Catherine, and I'm calling from New York.
Hi, Catherine. Welcome to the show. What can we do for you?
Hi, thank
Hi,
you.
Catherine.
Happy New Year. Hi. I was wondering, I have 2 people that have approached me for work. One is a female. She's a water sign, a Cancer, and the other is a male, and he's a Sag. And they're both reaching out for more contacts in order to make a work project that I have going on get off the ground. And I was just wondering if you see either of them working out with me to make this happen.
Well, I just have to say, Dax is doing his cards. I'm a Cancer too, so I have more for Cancer. But we'll see what the cards say. I'm not intuiting anything, but I just had to throw that out there. Give a shout out to all my sun sign Cancers out there.
Beautiful. I'm one too. Yeah.
Okay, so Cancer and
wonderful. Go ahead,
Cancer and I'm sorry. What was the other sign? I just need the other sign because I'm pulling cards here. A Sag. Okay, so we got a Cancer water sign and we got a fire sign going on here. And let me pull some more cards and take a look at what's going on with this dynamic here. Okay. kind of have to agree with Dr. Rose with the cancer thing.
Wow, that's fantastic.
It really seems to be leaning that way. It's almost as if you were working with the Sag person, the Fool card shows up. That's taking a leap of faith. It might be doing some things that either you haven't done before or are not comfortable with. The Death card shows up as well, which is not necessarily bad. It could be the end of one cycle and the beginning of another, kind of thing. But when I look at the Cancer, I get the Four of Wands, which is celebration, liberation.
Wow.
Happiness and prosperity.
Sorry.
Oh, and there's another factor, but I want to get your 2 cents on it. But first, let me fill you in real quickly on a couple of other things. The Three of Pentacles shows up, which is literally working with other individuals on a project, and then the Temperance card. You can't get a better card. I love Temperance. That's Archangel Michael showing up, and it's a card of patience, but also fusion and harmony, the marrying of opposites, blending, cooperation. Trying to think of some other words for this. Working together on it's very apropos. It just successful negotiations, partnerships that work out, kind of thing. So, yeah. So that's the cards I'm getting. What were you going to say about the Cancer?
I really liked her at first, but I don't know. I almost feel like she's ghosting me a little bit now. That's why I even went looking for the other person. Like, if she hadn't done that, I don't know if she's just sick. I don't know. That's my only. I totally would agree. Just this last 2 weeks, it's like she just disappeared. I don't know. Is something wrong? I don't know.
Well, let's take a look at that real quickly. I'm just going to do a quick yes/no on that. Is she ghosting you? No, she's not ghosting you. I'm getting 3 no's and 2 yeses. Okay, so that means it could really go either way. But the Magician card shows up. It's the only major arcana card that shows up. All right, and then the Queen of Pentacles, or the Queen of Coins, which is a very nurturing card. The Magician says that you're in the driver's seat. You actually have the power here. And then right after that's the Two of Cups. And that's 2 individuals coming together, and there's emotional stability there. And, of course, cups are what? The element of water.
Water.
Cancer. Yep. And then we've got and then it's followed by the Seven of Cups. And then the Ace of Cups. It's indicating that it could go either way, but you have the power. You have to come at this from an aspect of the Queen of Coins. You got to come at it. Are you an Earth sign, by the way? What's your sign?
I'm a Cancer also.
Oh, you're a Cancer also. Oh, yeah, that's why you guys would work together really, really well here. And, the only reason I ask is because the Pentacles is Earth, and so this is the Queen of Pentacles, but doesn't mean
Do you know
it's
funny? She wants to bring an Earth sign on board whom I like as well and admire as well, and he's a Virgo.
This is with the Queen of Pentacles, of course, just because it's a queen and not a king doesn't mean gender, okay? The aspect of the card is that this person is a very capable person, down to earth, uncomplicated, nurturing, organized. Okay, so that's a very good indication right there that this is a good thing, and that you're the one that kind of has to take the lead in order to make it happen. I don't think she's ghosting you.
Right.
I think she's busy with other stuff, to be honest with you. And also, the Seven of Cups is a card of many choices, fantasy and illusion. She might be a little confused or a little stuck with too many ideas or fantasies or illusory kind of things. She needs some focus and guidance, I think. And then you go from those seven. What's the last card? Ace of Cups. So you go from the seven cups to finally focused on one cup. So basically what it is, the ball's in your court.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
It can happen.
I'll
It can make it happen.
Yeah. I'll give her a couple of days and reach back and see. That's awesome.
Yeah. Call her back, say, hey, Dax said this is going to happen, and so.
Let's go with it.
Make it so, as Jean Picard would say.
Right.
Oh, thank you. Thank you both so very much. That was awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Great
You're
call.
very
Thanks
welcome,
for the call.
Catherine. Wish you the best. Yeah.
Thank you.
Happy
Happy New Year. Oh, yes. Thank you. You too. Bye.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
and actually,
so
I had to do the Jean-Luc Picard reference because Patrick Stewart is coming back, and we're gonna have Picard on the 20th of this month. Yes, they're launching Picard. It's
right. I forgot the movie. Right. Okay.
It's a TV show. It's a brand new TV show. It's like the next generation continued 20 years later. It's not going to be anything like the next generation, but it's a continuation in the same timeline, same universe. And 20 years later, oh my God, it's one of the most beloved characters, and Patrick Stewart is just a fantastic actor. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be very nostalgic too, and it's I think the first airing is the 23rd.
Yeah, it's interesting because I did not. I remember seeing the advertisements for it. I thought it was a movie, but I'm happy to know that it is a TV show, and I love Patrick Stewart. He is a fantastic actor. So happy for that's coming. That's coming out because I was definitely a Star Trek Next Generation fan. So
yes,
I'm excited.
It's on
right.
CBS All Access in the United States, North America. The rest of the world, it's actually going to be on Amazon. It's going to be on Amazon Prime Video.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I might be getting that wrong, but I could swear that it was Amazon. The rest of the world, like if you're in the UK or Europe or something, you go on Amazon.
Right.
But in North America, the United States, it's CBS All Access. There you go, folks.
Right. Wonderful.
So we've got time we have time for one or two more callers. We can squeeze them in.
Okay. So the caller who's been holding the longest is calling from area code 216. Caller 216, give us your name and let us know where you're calling from. Hello, caller 216.
Are you there?
So maybe not.
Well, we'll put them back on hold and come back. We have that other caller, 407.
Okay, so let's do 407. If you're on the line with us, give us your name and let us know where you're calling from.
Hi, Rosie, Dr. Rosie. My name is Lori, and I'm calling from Florida.
Lori, and you said you're from. Your name is Lori.
Lori.
From Florida.
Oh, great. Okay.
There's Lana and Lori and all, and these Florida. It's wow. Catherine was in New York, but we got Florida calls, and it's been that way for a couple of weeks now. Florida loves us. I don't know what it is.
I know.
Just had to throw that out there. So, Lori, what's up with you today? What do you want to chat about?
It's a new year, and my life has been pretty stagnant. I've put plenty of energy out in the universe to be gainfully employed. I want to be gainfully employed working from home. If light travel is part of the, the equation, I'm game. And I have done everything in my part, and I need to remove the blocks. I did write down what you wrote about Gum Om Gun Gum Pache Nimalta for asking for blocks to be removed. And I want to know if you can give me any insight or a mini reading on what I need to do or why am I being blocked?
Okay. Well, we could certainly do that. And what I would say is, do that mantra and then call us back and let us know what happens, because we don't get a lot of feedback on the mantras, Dr. Rose, and it would be so cool if somebody called back and told us, hey, this really did help, or it didn't work, whatever.
Yeah, yes, totally agree.
We'll do for sure.
Yeah. Well, the main focus card is the Empress. So this is a card of growth, personal growth and development and fruitfulness. She's often depicted pregnant. It's like you're pregnant with the new possibility. It just hasn't manifested yet. You're in that other stage. And 3, the Empress is 3, and 3 is creativity and communication. So it's the central focus card. It's saying, okay, this is what you need to do. You need to not worry too much about the outcome as far as specifically the project or what you're doing, but more on focusing on developing and growing and allowing your creativity and communication. Now, before that, we get the Tower card along with the Hierophant, which we had in a previous call. The Hierophant is, status quo. It's, how to word this. It's ritual and routine. It's standard the way it's done. And in this case, it's indicating breaking free from the way it's always been done. Now, I don't know exactly what that means. I'd have to do a much longer reading, but focus on that, okay? And the Tower card is a shift in foundations. Now, a lot of times you get the Tower card, it's like, oh my God, it's crises happening. In this case, it's not really talking about that. What it's talking about is a shift in foundations, a shift in beliefs. You have to do these 2 things. Think outside of the box, not that way everybody else is doing it. That's the Hierophant. And the Tower card, shift your beliefs about this. And it's also about thinking outside the box. Okay? And so, in other words, you've been doing everything right. And, you said you've been doing everything on your end. You're putting the energy out there and everything like that. But when a caller comes in and tells me that, I don't even need to pull cards. It's a red flag to me right away. I'm just saying. And Lori, I'm going to put your line on hold for just a second because I'm getting a lot of feedback from the line. We'll bring you back on in just a second, but I just wanted to get this all out first, and then we'll get, your reaction to it. When you're doing everything right, in your mind anyway, when you think, you're doing everything that you're supposed to be, back me up on this, Rose, if you want. I got to say that it always brings up that quote from Einstein that I say on many, many, many shows because it's so true and so apropos to a lot of our callers. Doing the same thing and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. Okay? Yeah. So when you're doing everything you think you could be doing and you're putting the intention out there and it's not manifesting, that's an indication right there. It's telling you that you're not doing everything that you could be doing, or a kinder, gentler way of putting it would be that when you're doing X and it's not working, try Z.
Right.
Okay? And that's why we have the whole thinking outside of the box. The Tower card, shifting of beliefs, shifting of foundations, that's major. And that means giving up beliefs, things that aren't serving you. If you believe that it has to be done in a certain way, and the only way that you can work at home and maybe work online, I don't know how, what type of work you're looking at, and even if it's not conscious, you may be subconsciously thinking in the back of your mind, that it has to be done a certain way. You got to break those beliefs. You got to shift those foundations, and you got to, the Hierophant, think outside of the box. How does everybody else do it? What's the norm? How can I do it differently? And then you'll begin to grow. So you got the Hierophant card, the Tower card, the next card is the Empress. Then it'll happen. You'll get to the Empress where you're going to grow then, because you're not allowing yourself to be stuck in the rut anymore. And then from that point, you can move into, you want to make this very emotionally satisfying. I'm getting cup cards, and like the very next card is the Two of Cups. And, that comes up for romances and things like that. But in this type of question, we're talking about partnerships, mutually beneficial relationships, okay? There's a person or other people out there that can help you. Once you've done this back work of the Hierophant and the Tower card, shifting the foundations, thinking outside the box, growing as the Empress, working on your creativity and communication. Be creative. How can you do it differently? You've got the skills and abilities. How can you apply that and make value in 2020 for other people? All businesses, I don't care what you do. I don't care if you're a life coach. I don't care if you're a hypnotherapist helping people stop smoking. I don't care if you're pumping gasoline. You are doing something that is creating value for another individual. How can you apply your skills and abilities to do that from home for other people, whether it's teaching or directly coaching with people, consulting, whatever it is, and do it differently than everybody else in your industry, and partner up with somebody else, Two of Cups. And then what happens? You get the Eight of Pentacles. Eight, as I said with the previous caller, that's abundance. That's when the abundance comes in. And literally in that card, the individual is hard at work creating these pentacles, and they're, finished pentacles all up along the wall. There's one on the ground. He's hammering on one. It's the profitable use of one's skills, talent, enthusiasm, dedication, receiving your reward, steady progress, especially over time, loving your work. That's where you're going to get to if you follow these steps that the cards are laying out for you. You want to bring Lori back on there, Dr. Rose?
Sure. Hold on. Hi, Lori. So what do you think?
Hi, Rosie. I thought it was great.
Did that resonate?
Of course. Like a big hammer over the head.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like that.
Well, I'm a writer, also a motivational speaker, and I don't listen to people, naysayers, who say, that's just a poor man's job. That's not true, because there's plenty of people out there making a really good income, because it's not really a job. It's doing what your passion is. So it's not really a job.
Lori, who is saying that? I mean, I have never heard that before. Motivational speakers and coaches and consultants are some of the highest paid people on the planet, and you can do it from home, and it is, a real profession.
Yeah.
It's totally what you should be doing. Absolutely.
I love it. It comes so easy, effortless, unpracticed, unrehearsed, and I just need to get the shift in my mindset and in my beliefs, as well as get in alignment. You also said something that was very, very key, getting with a partner or with involving one or two others, not much more than that. That's my.
It's very important that you keep your individuality within the partnership. This is your business, but you are partnering with somebody, and hopefully it's a win-win situation. You got to keep it a win-win situation. Hey, we're running out of time. We got to get going, but I want to leave you with one thing before we go, Lori, and this is the key. And the reason why I want to say this is this is going to help you, but it's going to help everybody listening out there right now. Remember, I talked about creating value, that all exchanges, monetary exchanges, energy exchanges, are based on creating value for the other person. And we too often get stuck on the titles. I am a motivational speaker. I am a Reiki master. I am a hypnotherapist. I am a coach. I am this, I am that, I'm that, I'm this. Okay, people do not care. They don't care. Being a motivational speaker is a thing you do, but it is not a thing. It is not a business. It is not value. Instead of focusing on that, the way you get really creative and you really know what to do, the way everything else falls into place, the partnership, what to do, how to do it, all the what's and how's and all that kind of stuff, the way it all falls into place comes down to one thing, and that thing is focus on the value. And this is the big key. What problem do you solve for the other person? So it's not I'm a hypnotherapist or an NLP practitioner. I help people quit smoking. Or niche it down further. I help active duty military and veterans quit smoking. I've niched it down, really niched it down. And I'm using that example because that's what I do. That's my niche. I focus on veterans because they're the most susceptible. They smoke at a rate twice the national average, 28% instead of 14%. So I focus on them. What problem do you solve, and then how do you solve it, and then you start building everything else on that foundation. That's going to really help you if you focus on, sitting down and go, okay, it's not that I'm a motivational speaker. It's not that I'm a coach. It's not that I'm a writer. Writing is great. It's fantastic, whether you're writing books, articles, blog posts. I don't care what you're doing, blogs or what. It doesn't matter. But that's what you do. That's not the business. Okay, how does my writing, coaching, motivational speaking, how am I solving a problem? Focus on a single problem, not a whole swath of things. Like, as a hypnotherapist, I can help people with weight loss, stress relief, PTSD, pain, quitting smoking, phobias. I can name 6 dozen things that I can do with hypnotherapy, but if you don't narrow it down, at least at the beginning, to a single niche, a single problem that you solve, and a single group of people that you solve it for. So I solve X problem for women between the ages of 43 and 62 that have an interest in teddy bears. I don't know. I'm just making this stuff up off the top of my head. But this is giving you and everybody listening a little clarity, and we can expound upon this, Dr. Rose, on next week's show when we start talking about SMART goals versus resolutions, that you've got to come up with what that problem is that you solve.
Yeah.
So I hope that helps you out, Lori.
Yes, indeed. That was awesome. It really was crystal clear. It couldn't have been more clear. That lit the bell.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Lori, for calling in.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling
Great
in.
show.
Great call. Bye, Lori. And by the way, that was
Bye,
my
Lori.
motivational. That was my motivational speaking for the day, Dr. Rose.
I was going to bring out your little, no, I was going to say a soapbox. You
Yeah.
got another soapbox. But what you were saying was wonderful, and I totally agree with that. And that's something that we can definitely expound upon on the next show.
Right. And you know, the partnering aspect, when I was talking about that, you know, find somebody, even if they're not going to be your partner per se in this venture. Get 1 or 2 or 3 of your girlfriends, sit down at your kitchen table. People you really trust their intuition, you trust their opinion on things. Get a piece of paper, put it down on the kitchen table with 1 or 2 friends, maybe 3, and brainstorm. Think, okay, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, let it out. What problem do I solve? And one last thing I'll throw out there is you can program your dreams for this. The universe will give you that answer. You can, as you're laying down at night, program your dreams.
Yes.
I want to know what problem I need to focus on. What problem do I solve for other people, therefore creating value and massive value. Massive value. You know, it's got to be something sustainable, that there is a big consumer base for, big audience. All right? You know, you don't want to go with the tiny things. You want to solve big problems, you know, and for a lot of people, smoking is a big problem. So that's why I solve one big problem. Or PTSD or, you know, all the other things I named off are big problems. Program your dreams. Have a piece of paper and a pen next to your bed on your nightstand there. When you wake up in the morning, first thing you do, write down everything you can remember from your dreams. And it may take a few days to a week for it to flesh out, but you're going to be given the answer, or at least a direction where you can find the answer. You know, what is the problem that I solve? So we went way over here. We did have that one caller. What was it, 216 that didn't pick up? Do you want to see if they're there? Maybe we can do that real quick.
Sure. Caller 216, are you on the line?
Yes, my name is Patricia. I'm calling from Cleveland, Ohio.
Hi, Patricia. Welcome to the show.
Hi. My question is, I was attending this college for about 5 years, community college. Long story short, experienced and was harassed, sexually harassed, bullied, being failed in classes on purpose. Let's see, what else? Shamed and embarrassed. Went and did the formal complaint, and these were males that were doing that. And of course, the female assistant dean, she had no intentions of helping me. She was basically, you know, supporting one of the main criminals, is what I call them. And I ended up quitting last year, and I did so only because I have a health issue that came up for me, and I still have that. My questions are, I did think about getting a lawyer, and I do have some I can put in some dates about some of these abuses, but since they've lied already, and I hadn't mentioned the sexual harassment because they weren't helping me, you know, with any of the other things. If I do, will I get any help if I get a lawyer? One, if I put in a complaint with the Better Business Bureau or Department of Education, putting in a complaint, and because basically the college is responsible as well. And I mean, you know, the only thing that I would want, and not that it would solve all of my problems, but money, because there is no verbal or written apology that's going to do me. Will I ever get any help, or will these agencies or whatever help me, or should I? And I did my best to just release them, and to get on with my life.
That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible that you're going through that, Patricia.
And it's just a karmic place from this year.
Yeah, it could be. I'm not a big fan of karma, and Dr. Rose is cringing right now because all the Vedic stuff and everything is it's karma, and
I'm not cringing.
Yeah, because I'm glad to know that, Dr. Rose, because a lot of people, a lot of our hosts and practitioners that we've had on the network the last 10 years, they're big into the whole karma thing, the karmic debt.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really believed in that, to be honest with you. I think we make our own choices. I think we make our own karma. We have the power. I don't like how disempowering that concept is. It's like things are preset. And I'm not saying that it might not happen on an energetic level, but it could be changed. Okay.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think that's one of the things that people don't understand is that it's just a way of describing things that happen. And so it is not something that everybody has to agree upon, but it's definitely something you can change. But there is that strain of thought that, oh, it's your karma, you have to deal with it, blah, and, so be it. And I don't believe in that at all. And as a matter of fact, I had some, after Dax, gives his reading, I have some suggestions for you because a lot of things came up when I was like, oh gosh, she needs to do this and this, So I'll let you know about that, but I'll let Dax go ahead and provide his reading and whatnot for you.
So real quickly, Patricia, because we're almost out of streaming time here, but that's okay. Even after we stop streaming in 3 minutes, it'll still record. So if you wanted to listen to the rest of this and you're listening on a player or something, you can listen to the replay of the show, catch the last part. Patricia, you'll hear the whole thing. Don't worry about it. I'm just talking about for the listeners out there that are intrigued by your question here. And you might not like the answer. You might not like the answer because although, you genuinely, intellectually ask, do you do this or do you do this? But I feel that emotionally you really want the satisfaction of the bad guys getting their due. Remember, we just talked about karma. Regardless of what happens in your particular case, trust me, the universe will, there will be karmic consequences for them. It's going to happen because what you focus on, law of attraction, what you focus on and what you put out there, it's going to come back to you, okay? They'll get their due, all right? Now, can you make headway here? What you could. I'm getting a little bit of indication in that with the Hierophant showing up. My God, Rose, the Hierophant card has showed up for almost every caller. It's like a theme going on here with, and sometimes the Hierophant represents the status quo, represents the system, and you may be able to do that. You may be able to go down that path. But the whole rest of the reading, the whole rest of the cards are indicating that's not the right way to go. And when I asked it as a straightforward yes, no, I got 3 no's out of 5, suggesting it's leading towards no, pursuing this is not really the right thing to do. But I didn't get a strong no, like 4 or 5. So it's still open. It's entirely up to you. You've got to decide if you're going to go down that path. But we do get indications from the other cards telling us what you really need to be doing. And the main card for this is a card that also showed up in a previous reading today, the 8 of Pentacles, 8 being abundance. And the 8 of Pentacles, as I had mentioned before, is the profitable use of one's skills, talent, enthusiasm, dedication, steady progress, loving your work. you'll benefit a lot more in your life by focusing on that and getting going on that aspect of your life, your career, and so forth. That's what you need to be focusing on, because remember the law of attraction. We harp a lot of that, a lot on that on this show, Dr. Rose. You know, you attract in what your focus is on. So what's going to happen if you go down the path with the system and try to get, I don't even know what the term is for it, you know, relief in that way, you know, through some action, legal or otherwise. All that's going to happen is that you're focused on that and continuing to focus on it. You're telling the universe, I want, you know, you're basically saying, Patricia wants more of this. You know, I'm sorry, not Patricia. I said the wrong name. Or no, wait, it is Patricia. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little confused here because I went to look at the phone lines and you had put it on hold. Dr. Rose. Good job. Are you still there, Rose?
I'm sorry, I'm sitting here talking and I had muted my phone. So I put Patricia on hold because I thought that the sound, we were getting a lot of feedback, and I think it was your mic actually. A lot of wind or something like that was coming into your mic, but it's fine now. So Patricia, I'll bring you back. Dax, do you want to continue on?
Yeah, let me finish up real quick, and then we'll get Patricia's reaction and see if she resonates with this. By going down that path, you're going to put your focus back on that, and you're telling the universe, you know, it's Patricia wants more of this, and you're just going to pull more of this in. A lot of times the answer is, you know, like if somebody has a problem or an issue from the past that they're working on with a therapist, this is why I don't, you know, really like talk therapy where they do that, you know, because a lot of times the best way to quash what happened and the negativity is to focus on the positive. Focus on what you really want. And there's other cards along here, like the Two of Pentacles, suggesting imminent change and the need or ability to maintain harmony while juggling different aspects of a situation, being flexible, fun, playfulness. That's how you should be going at your life, especially on a materialistic level, career, business, income level, because that's a Pentacles card. That you want to be working on that. And the Three of Cups shows up, which is a card of celebration. In fact, it's the central focus card in the reading, suggesting that, you know, letting your hair down, getting amongst friends, ladies' night out, that kind of thing, buffering yourself with your loved ones and friends and loved, well, they are loved ones. You know, doing that, focusing on making your financial situation better, and loving your work with that Eight of Pentacles, the profitable use of one's skill, focusing on that. You know, who was it? Oh, it was Frank Sinatra said, the best revenge is massive success. Frank Sinatra. The best revenge is actually your own massive success. Mm-hmm. So does that resonate with you, Patricia?
Hold on for a second. Let me bring her back on. Patricia?
Okay.
Yes,
you there?
I'm here. Yeah, I'm okay. I get it now. That I just will be at peace with myself for more reasons than one. And yes, I have been focused on I'm doing my best to get finances going, and and then learning new skill set like copywriting, learning how to speaking. I had spoken briefly on a podcast, but really wanting to go more than that, but still I'm just training myself because I mean, it's always been a struggle getting money here, getting work, and then, good paying jobs. So, and to get myself out of this city and state, and yes, I mean, yes, I get that. I started to work on that, but it's just, and definitely for my health, I need to do an alternative naturopathic. That's my choice, but that takes money as well. And I don't have that particular amount of money, and it's going to another country to get that treatment or treatments. So yes, I want to get out of this city and state for more reasons than one. And I feel guided to go to the East Coast, well, more to the East Coast, New York. So yes, I get the message, and yes, I'm focusing on that, and
right.
And I'm getting this library prayer and doing things like the Healing Code, Andrew Lloyd, and
let me throw in a couple of things. Patricia. I got something, a little bonus for you here. Also, we want to get what Dr. Rose has to say, because she's got some things that are really going to help you with what you're talking about right now. But I did look at both of those things that you mentioned real quickly, just to give you some clues. There was the speaking, you did the podcast, and wait, I'm sorry, what was the first one you mentioned? The other thing?
Copywriting.
Oh, copywriting. Copywriting is great. What I'm getting on that, though, is ultimately it can be very positive because it got the Four of Wands, that celebration. However, the main focus card is the Hanged Man, and it's the only major arcana card really showing up here. And I feel like there's a strong delay here. It's a card of adaptability to change and transformation. You can pursue that, and it could really work out for you, but it's a delay. It's going to take a while. Whereas the interestingly enough, doing the speaking and which is what our previous caller was talking about, getting into that and going that direction is going to have more fruitful results immediately, more fast anyway. It's going to happen quicker. Right. You're really going to be able to build something here. And then also one of the cards that shows up for that idea of the speaking is that Eight of Pentacles that I got in the first spread. So that's the tarot winking at you saying, yeah, this is the one. Okay. So that's a little bonus for you there. Right. And Dr. Rose, what do you got for Patricia? How can you help her out here?
Thank you. So Patricia, you're very welcome. Patricia, I definitely recommend that you chant the Ganesha mantra and chant it a lot. You might want to do the 108 times a day for 40 or 45 days. There's another technique that I'll explain to you also, because when you're talking about dealing with court cases and what's fair and things of that nature, it's a lot of heavy. I'll just say heavy karma, which is basically negativity, right? That's coming your way. So there's something that's called the coconut breaking ritual, and I would recommend that you do it, if not every day, as often as you can, depending upon what the cost of coconuts are in your area. So if you can't afford coconuts, there's another option. So with the coconut breaking ritual, basically what you do is you take a coconut, and it's a hard shell coconut, not the one where it's the soft shell. That's not going to work. So you take a hard, your traditional looking coconut from, let's say, the Caribbean, and you roll it around your head, your forehead. You can touch your head or not touch your head. It's up to you. You don't have to touch your body. But basically, as you're doing it, you want to imagine whatever the negative situation is, that negativity, maybe you think of it as a cloud or dark cloud or whatnot, that goes into the coconut. So roll it around your head. Put it in your right hand. It needs to be in your right hand. You roll it around your head. Your neck and shoulder areas are very important. Some people do heart, and some people do other parts of the body, like if there's pain or something like that, if that's what you want to do. And what you do is you take the coconut and you break it, you throw it and break it against the ground. I do this outside of my home across the street where there's a gutter. And what you do, you want to throw it, you got to be careful about throwing it, because sometimes you can throw something and it'll bounce, it won't break, but you can throw it again. But take the coconut, and when you roll it, after you roll it on your head, neck, and shoulders, those are the most important parts. With your right hand, you throw it onto the ground, and it cracks open. You want to throw it far enough from you so that you don't get too much of the juices to come back. If some of the juices come back, you just want to either, wash those clothing that got affected, or your shoes, or wipe your shoes rather. Some people don't want to put their shoes in the washing machine, or your hands or whatnot. And then you take a trash bag and you pick up the pieces, put it in the bag, and you can throw it away. So you want to throw those pieces away. You don't want to eat it. Some people talk about eating and drinking it, and you don't want to do that because the negative karma goes into the coconut, and when you throw it and you crack it against the ground, it releases it so that it's away from you. Okay? So I recommend doing that. Now,
and that's why you want to wash it off if you get any of it on you.
Right. You want to wash it off if it's on your body. You want to wash your hands or whatnot. Don't make a big deal out of it. It's just, okay, I got some juices on me. I want to wash it. Wipe off your shoes or wash your clothing if it gets onto your clothing. Now, if you can't do coconuts, because coconuts can be quite pricey depending upon where you buy it from. Like I'm here in California, it could be $2 to $3 in a regular grocery store. Usually I go to a specialized store to see if I can get them cheaper than that. But if you can't, and money's an issue, there are pumpkins you can do, and I don't mean a big, Halloween pumpkin. I mean, there are smaller pumpkins out there that you could do. Pumpkins and can also be used in the exact same way for the coconut smashing or coconut breaking ritual. If that's not a possibility, then there's another ritual that's very similar, but you use a knife instead, and it's called the lime rolling technique. It's the same idea where you put the lime in the left hand, you roll it around your head, your neck, and your shoulders. Those are the most important things, and have it in your right hand. And then you take the lime and you cut it in half, and then you toss it in a garbage can, right? You're not going to eat that. You're not going to use it for some other thing. You're going to toss it in a garbage can, okay? If you can't do limes, there are lemons you can do, and there are small ones. You don't have to have a great big one. You can have the small ones. Sometimes the grocery stores have little mini ones in a bag. Those work just as well. If you can't use that, then you can also use flowers, a full flower or a flower petal, if you can do it that way. Buy yourself a flower and use the flower petals. You're not going to cut the flower petals, of course. You just crumple it up and throw it in the trash, and then after that, you want to wash your hands. Okay?
All right.
So, so lime rolling ritual that I described, the last thing, do that every day. So either use a lime, a lemon, or flower or flower petal. If you're going to do the coconut, which I think is something that you need, if you can do coconut or pumpkin and smashing it against the ground, I highly recommend it. And you can use a pumpkin, or you can use a smaller pumpkin or coconut, and that will help you. And I do recommend you do something every day because you have some heavy-duty things that are going on. Looks like Patricia got dropped from the call, so I think that's it for our time.
We're way over here. We got to end the show. If we didn't get to your call today, remember you can call in on Sunday. We'll do our massive online party celebrating 10 years on radio. I hope you'll be Rose, I hope you might be able to call in, and all of our other hosts and past guests, and anybody that wants to call in and join us for the party, it would be really great. We'll be doing mini readings as well on the show. So if we didn't get to you today, you can call in on Sunday. And, of course, Catherine will be live on Monday, and Rose and I will be back with Smart Goals next Friday. Wow, we helped a lot of people. That's what it's all about. Really great. Hey, if in between shows, or if you want a private session, a longer session, you can always go to my page, thetarotguild.com/Dax, thetarotguild.com/DAX. And Dr. Rose is over on the Psychic Talk Network's website, psychictalk.net/Dr. Rose. It's actually DRROSE. So psychictalk.net/Dr. Rose. And you can pop on there. You can remember to go to her YouTube channel. You can contact her through her page in between shows. If you guys have show ideas, topics, things you'd like us to discuss, questions you want answered, sessions, mini readings, full readings, full private readings, anything along those lines, you can contact us in between the shows on our pages. And I want to thank everybody for being here with us, all the callers and listeners. We don't have a show without you. And thank you,
Absolutely.
Rose, for being here.
Yeah, you're very welcome, and thank you to all of our callers today. And call us back and let us know how things went, with our suggestions and advice. We'd love to hear back from you guys because we don't get enough of that. And we'll see you on the next show.
You get some people call back, about some of the readings here and there, but I'd love to hear about people that have, listened to your videos, start doing the mantras, and, what successes they've had with that. I think it'd be very encouraging to other people to hear that, you see.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, Happy New Year, everybody, and goodbye for now. Goodbye, Rose. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye. Bye, everybody. Bye, Dax.
Bye, everybody.